The Rampas Cintaku. Okay, it is said to be the realist local drama made for the mature audience. Yeah, Rampas Cintaku has a dramatic and intriguing storyline fueled by revenge and unpredictable plot twists, and is not only an IGE local original production but also a rare Malay drama that explores topics that not many dare to do. Tak berani, yeah? It includes the less spoken realities of love and relationships and disadvantage of young generation and of course female empowerment. So, Rampas Cintaku stars the iconic, of course, everyone knows, Fasha Sandha, Afieq Shazwan, Zarul Hussein, Aidil Aziz, Erin Abdullah and Adi Muhammad, in which kita akan bertemu bersama mereka sebentar lagi. Okay? So, before we start things off, we have to showcase to you, kita akan paparkan kepada anda trailer pada hari ini. Jadi, mari kita saksikan terlebih dahulu. Right as well, eh? Okay, probably we can take it down a notch later on. Anyways, so we have a lot of really intriguing questions that I would like to ask the both of you. Soalan-soalan yang kata ada soalan-soalan yang cemas, ada soalan-soalan yang ingin kita tahu, ya, dan berkenaan dengan topik pada hari ini ataupun drama pada hari ini, iaitu Rampas Cintaku. Dengan itu, kita akan mulakan terlebih dahulu nak dengar sedikit kisah Rampas Cintaku ini. Okey, kita akan mungkin tanya terlebih dahulu David Teo. Baiklah, Sir David Teo, kami nak tahu, boleh tak anda ceritakan sedikit tentang Rampas Cintaku dan apa yang audience atau penonton kena ambil tahu tentang drama ini?
Terima kasih kepada pengerusi and especially to IGE dan juga kepada semua media cetak lain elektronik serta all the influencer. Saya anggap ini satu cabaran besar untuk saya bersama IGE, the first drama series, even though I dah buat lebih daripada about 20,000 hours of the drama series. Tapi dengan IGE saya rebaran jantung cepat. Sebab dia kata kena lebih dari lebih. Apa itu yang nak lebih itu? Iaitu sebab kalau TV dia sangat ketat dengan sensor board. Kalau online dia lebih bebas dari sensor board. Bukan tak ada sensor board lah. Because I 6 tahun dalam appear board lah. Kementerian Dalam Negeri appear board saya sendiri. Tapi of course there's an advantage for me untuk tahu ada batasannya, apa yang sampai maksimum itu. Dennis kata maksimum dalam sensor board maksimum lah. Tapi apabila kita nak menyampaikan satu penceritaan ini dengan menarik, dengan sustain penonton, dengan ada tambahan-tambahan yang lebih biasa TV tak ada, itu yang kita cabaran bagi saya. Dan cerita ini dia lebih kepada kekeluargaan, percintaan antara kita suami isteri, adik-beradik kan, anak dengan ibu, dan juga kita ada pengorbanan satisfied lah untuk keluarga sebab nak capaikan sesuatu. Ini memang satu cerita yang agak sesuai untuk whole family tengok. Tapi Dennis letak 18, tapi saya sensor board I tak letak 18 I tengok ini tak ada 18. Lebih maksimum 13 with the parents saja, itu maksimum. Kalau tidak, I jadi board, I cakap I bagi you lah. Tak ada 18 pun. Sebab dia takut, dia kata. Okay, so saya anggap this satu penyampaian especially in online platform, dan ini juga akan pertukaran the industri masa depan yang akan datang, akan lebih banyak menarik drama series selepas ini.
Okay, jadi Mr. David ada mention tentang pertama kali bekerja dengan IKUTI, produce untuk IKUTI, something yang way beyond. Tapi kita nak tahu, kenapa Mr. David pilih untuk bekerjasama dengan IKUTI ya, berbanding dengan OTT platform yang lain yang ada di Malaysia? Kenapa IKUTI?
Sebenarnya IKUTI sudah jadi satu peminat sebelum dia sampai di China. Kita sudah subscribe dan saya punya isteri, madam, sering menonton, belajar dari sana macam mana nak buat drama yang lebih menarik untuk Malay platform. Kedua ialah tentang platform. Sebenarnya platform banyak orang sering datang bercerita dengan saya, talk about platform, baru punya platform, nama ini, dan sebab saya ada 150 film copyright in my hand. I'm the largest copyright in Malay film lah. So I sering berbicara dan discussion to all this platform. Platform kena kukuh. Dia kena ada background yang boleh tahan, kita kata burn the money. Sebelum dia berjaya, dia kena burn the money. So saya rasa IKUTI satu syarikat yang dulu telah burn, datang ke sini dia terus mau untung saja. Maksudnya dia ada background yang strategi, kejaya dia dengan cepat dan sudah cukup pengalaman berbanding dengan orang lain ada yang telah tutup pun selepas buka beberapa tahun kan. So IKUTI saya anggap dia satu pelajaran untuk saya juga, because dia a lot of experience in the drama series, in the strategy. So saya sangat bangga, that's why bersama dengan IKUTI. Kedua lagi satu, IKUTI dia ada 191 country akan tayang saya punya drama ni. So peluang untuk expo kepada local production and local artist membawa ke international.
Dan seronoknya kebanyakannya juga banyak filem-filem Asia, drama-drama Asia yang kita boleh tonton di IKUTI. So that's one of the key factors juga lah.
That's right.
Betul. Okay, so we dah understand, kita dah faham sedikit berkenaan dengan Rampas Cintaku. Kita dah tahu kenapa David Teo memilih IKUTI. Jadi kini kita akan terus ke IKUTI pula with Dinesh at this current moment. So this is one of the things that we want to know about, right? So for IKUTI, Dinesh, by the way, how are you, Dinesh?
I'm doing well.
That's perfect. So the question is a bit, it's regarding investment here today. So what was it about Rampas Cintaku that became the deciding factor to invest in as an IKUTI original production? So that was the first question here today.
Yeah, thanks for that, and thanks David first for the kind words about IKUTI and working together. I think for us, so we are still relatively new in the country. We only really set up a local team, June 2020. So it's really just been over 2 years having a local team on the ground. And I think one of the first things we did straight away first was we need to get local content, and we said we want to invest in local content in the country because we see that everybody really enjoys local content. And secondly, we want to contribute to growing and investing in the content ecosystem over here. But one of the things that we do, and and one of the things I guess David pointed out, is because as a company we've been around for years in China, and there's a lot of learnings from China, especially in terms of how to collect data, how to analyze data, and how to come up with interesting conclusions, really around what people want to watch, right? So over the last 2 years, just in Malaysia, whether it's in-house data, data from surveys we've done from our users, data from looking at social media trends, we formed a pretty clear view in terms of what our users want to watch, especially a lot of the younger demographic on our platform. And increasingly, a lot of them want to watch things that one thing is they want to watch things that are edgier. They want to watch things that are more authentic and real. So things that people talk about but maybe hasn't made its way to TV yet. topics that everybody knows exist in the day-to-day of how we, live and breathe our lives. But again, like, it hasn't just made its way to the big screen. So what we realize is that actually, if there's a platform that can actually create content that's real, that's authentic, talks about topics that nobody's really talking about, even though everybody knows exists, there's a chance we can win over a big chunk of audience and actually satisfy the demand. That's one. And the second thing is, even though we are, Malaysians in Malaysia, it's actually a very global world. There's no more it's a borderless world today, where everybody has borderless access to global content and global themes. So what we're finding is that, the youth, the younger generation in Malaysia, the millennials, the Gen Zs, they're more exposed to global themes. Things like women empowerment, things about the struggles of different parts of communities. Those are things that everybody is well aware of, and people talk about. So where I'm going with all of this, I know it's a bit of a long-winded way to say that when we first started speaking to David and MIG about the direction we wanted to go in terms of the productions we wanted to invest in, we really wanted something real, right? And when we discussed this idea, and we thought, wow, first of all, it's based off a great novel, right? But then we had, again, based on all of the themes I mentioned just now, we said, hey, what if we actually flip the narrative a little bit, where actually it's instead of the sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship, we flip the narrative and actually puts a female at the center of that content structure. So you actually have a sugar mama instead. And I don't want to say that the story revolves around a sugar mama, sugar baby relationship. As David mentioned, it's really about love. It's really about the struggles of life, the realities of love. Being in love is not easy. There's a lot of struggles. It's about, there's impoverished, youth that are struggling to make ends meet, and are forced to do whatever it takes to take care of their families. So there's all these themes, but I think it's set in a really real setting, right? And that's why we really love this show.
So we're going to pinpoint that again. So Tuan-tuan puan, it is the most realist Malay drama you can ever watch, starting today, of course, during the screening. Yeah, but relating to what you've mentioned also, you did mention regarding working with MIG as well. So we want to know the big question there, aside from having the points mentioned regarding that the storyline is based on what you guys really want. What is the reason why you want to work together with the production team, David, to you?
Yeah, I mean, I've known, other than the fact that obviously MIG, as David mentioned, is one of the biggest production houses in Malaysia. I lose track of how many, I think he said more than 20,000 hours of content produced, which is just phenomenal. So obviously no doubt about the quality of work. But I think what I really appreciate, I think, about MIG is the willingness to really try new things. And even though they've been around for a really long time and they produce so many hours, I think they're always trying to innovate and always trying to keep abreast of social trends, what's happening, what works. And I think that, since the first time I met David, which was about 4 years ago, I was just really impressed at how in tune he is with what's going on social media and what the young people are watching, which I felt was really impressive, and also humbling to know that somebody that's been around doing the same thing for so many years with so much success still continues to want to learn. So I think, other than obviously the fact that it's a quality production house, I think it's also just the willingness for David and the team to really innovate and be creative and share our vision to do something different.
There you go. I know this is quite early to ask, yeah, Dinesh? Do we have any more productions coming throughout the year?
Yeah, we've announced a few already. We have 3 exclusive productions coming out in the next few months between now and end of the year. Rampas Cintaku is the first one. It has, I think it says on the poster, 23rd September, so next Friday. Then we have another one, it's called Sorry Night Lorry, that we're expecting to hopefully release early November. And then we have another exclusive title called Lecturer Ku Opa that will be in December.
There you go. Right, so you've asked a lot of questions already, and Dinesh managed to answer in a very detailed manner as well. So, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, para rakan media, saya harap kita punya jawapan daripada Dinesh dan juga Sir David dapatlah memberikan gambaran kepada anda tentang Rampas Cintaku dan juga progres IKUTI pada tahun ini juga, ya. And then of course kita tanyalah, sebab tadi I think I heard just now that Dinesh mentioned that the Rampas Cintaku is actually a novel adaptasi novel, kan. Jadi kita tanya kepada David Teo, ya, kenapa memilih atau untuk produce drama adaptation berdasarkan novel tersebut, dan juga berapa banyak drama plot yang mengikut novel tersebut, how genuine, apa kata, asli dia mengikut drama tersebut, novel tersebut.
Actually banyak orang kadang-kadang dia pakai novel, dia tak ada percentage yang tinggi, especially 50%, 60%. Tapi dalam Rampas Cintaku ini saya guna 80% novel punya cerita. Sebenarnya lagi percentage tinggi, lagi susah nak terbit sebenarnya. Sebab kalau dapat ikut sangat, bebas berkarya kan. Kalau ikut kita kena betul-betul mengikut cerita, lagi nak fikirkan dari segi komersial, penonton kena ada minat tak tidak, di scene dia kena lebih detail. So lagipun ini satu daripada novel yang agak popular yang kita pilih lah untuk terbitan.
Okay, jadi dah dapat tahu nama, nanti kita get back to the novel. Kita nak bagi tahu ke tidak nama novel atau adaptasi dia, supaya ke kita save for later? Kita tak payah. Okay, so tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saya rasa cukuplah soalan daripada saya. Kini saya nak buka soalan kepada anda pula, kepada rakan-rakan media kita yang ingin bertanya apa-apa berkenaan dengan Rampas Cintaku pada hari ini, dan juga mungkin progres IKUTI yang ingin tahulah pada hari ini, ya. Jadi kita akan buka soalan. Kalau ada apa-apa soalan, hanya perlu angkat tangan saja. Nanti kita akan bawa mikrofon kepada anda. Jadi dengan itu, I think we're good to open the questions for the floor as well at this current moment. Alright, perfect. So, rakan-rakan media, ada apa soalan pada hari ini? Baik, kita ada satu soalan di sebelah sana. Boleh perkenalkan diri dan juga daripada media mana, supaya kita boleh bawa ke anda mikrofon. Sila. Masih banyak soalan ni. Okey, apa pun tak apa.
Hai, I Kim daripada Astro Gempa. So nak tanya, macam mana dengan pemilihan pelakon, which is kita tengok gabungan Fasha dengan Afieq tu macam tak pernah lagi. Lepas tu satu lagi soalan is kenapa untuk tontonan 18 tahun ke atas saja? Adakah drama ni terlalu apa orang cakap panas, ada bawa panas ke macam mana? Okey, terima kasih.
Nanti risau kita bagi pada David lah untuk jawab.
Actually 18 tahun tadi saya kata ialah pihak IKUTI yang letak. Sebenarnya belum lagi sensor board lagi. Sebab kita self-sensor ini dah telah belajar di dalam Kementerian Dalam Negeri KDN semasa saya sebagai FPA board. So ini memang disensor dah dalam penerbitan punya time. So boleh dikatakan maksimum 13 lah, tak ada 18. Tapi sebab atas ketatnya itu IKUTI, dia pun letak 18.
Yeah, I don't know. Memang tak ada scene yang I mean, David, like he said, he's very experienced in the LPF board. I think because about it's our first original and globally actually outside of China. So we just wanted to there's some scenes that it's kind of like apa discretion viewer lah. So we just put 18 and above, tapi sometimes some of these things is just down to interpretation. So if David, who has been produced 20,000 hours in Malaysia, says actually sebenarnya it's 13 and above, then we respect his opinion. I think we just want to put 18. So it's a bit down to interpretation, but I think the important takeaway is it's safe for viewing for
Ya,
audiences.
dia boleh tayang di Astro juga, tak ada masalah. Kan ada satu channel di sana, kan? So you don't worry about it. Tak percaya, cuba test. Kita memang ada cara-caranya lah. Of course, shooting kena ada caranya, how to capai itu matlamat. Tapi on the view of the penonton, dengan on the making, dia ada something technical punya kepakaran kena ada lah. Itu saja.
Nanti juga boleh dinilai lah, sebab nanti pun kita akan menonton di waktu malam nanti for the pre-screening untuk anda lihat sendiri. We judge nanti tengok 13, mungkin saya go lah 13, saya rasa okey lah tu. And of course tak ada umur 13 kat dalam sendiri ya, just in case. Okay, tak ada. Baiklah. Okay, tadi pada
That was the first question. She
the first question
about
berkenaan dengan
gandingan Fasha and Afieq.
Ya, berkenaan dengan pilihan
Never been
pelakon.
seen.
Tentang gandingan memang satu cabaran untuk kita pilih. Saya sebenarnya mula-mula saya pun agak was-was nak memilih seorang, sebab dia popular dengan menyanyi kan. Hafiz. So dia pun badannya bukan besar sangat. So nak ganding dengan Fasha Sandha sekarang, dia punya mature kan. The story memang sesuai Fasha. Kita itu sudah dia semasa tulis skrip. Tapi bila nak pilih orang ini mengikut kita, ada lain orang kita pilih. Tapi endingnya kita pilih dari segi dia punya popularity satu, kedua lah something dia punya kontras sangat besar. So when you contohnya, kalau seorang yang cantik, dia mesti ada seorang yang tak cantik kan, baru menimbulkan itu yang cantik. So when dia gandingan ni macam sekarang kita rasa betul pemilihan kita, because the first trailer keluar, respond very good. So orang semua tengok, watch Hafiz boleh melakonkan ini watak. Ini penyanyi mah nampak seperti budak-budak juga kan. Tapi sesuai pada tema lah kan, suga mami kan. So dan dia pun boleh membawa watak itu luar jangkaan lah. Mula-mula kita memang satu tekanan lah, tapi when dia boleh menyampaikan, so kita sangat kita bersyukur lah. At least gandingan antara otai dengan orang baru ini, dia menjadikan itu cahaya yang cukup cerah.
Can I just add to
Yes,
that
yes,
a bit?
please.
So actually, IG in China, over the last 10 years when we started doing our productions, has been known. One of the things we do in China is actually work with young and up and coming actors and talents. So most of the time you'll see that we kind of start working with someone when he's first coming up, and then we grow along with the star. So I think that's a principle that has worked very well for the business in China, in terms of obviously the success it's had, but also in playing a role in grooming the future generation. So I think for us, when obviously we left a lot of the casting discussion to MIG and David and his team to decide, but when we got involved, we were really supportive. Even though I think this is Afieq's first lead role in a drama, and I think a lot of I think it takes a while for some people to warm up to that, to giving a chance for your first ever release to a new male lead. But I think for us, we're really supportive, and like David said, we were really impressed at the outcome. I think he did really, really well. And I think the pairing up of him and Fasha works really well, and I think we're all really excited, and we hope everybody also feels the same way. Hopefully some of you who are going to see some of the previews we have, but really hope that the rest of Malaysia thinks that way as well, and hopefully the world too.
That's amazing. So both point of views are actually amazing. One from David regarding Fasha dengan ni gabungan yang mungkin berbeza, kita gabungkan mendapatkan satu cahaya yang bersinar. And IKUTI's perspective as well to get new talents to grow with IKUTI and together. So this is absolutely amazing to hear as well. Kepada rakan-rakan media, I think according to the time, kita boleh buka satu lagi soalan kepada anda. Oh, laju betul kata so. Okay, so one question. Saya nak berebut ke macam mana? Tiga orang tu. Okay, one question for us to open before we go into our preview here today. Okay.
Hi, Anis from NST. So I would like to ask Dinesh. So we know that other OTT platform has already launched their local production earlier, right? So why is it now you guys just do these things, you know? So, and the other one is how much do you actually invest in this? Can you give us an amount? How much for local production?
I agree. I always, I think we are definitely I'm happy to say that we are a newcomer to the space, relatively speaking, to some of the other platforms being around. If you think about it, we've only really been around for about just over 2 years in Malaysia. So in less than 2.5 years, we're really releasing our first show, and we know a show takes months to produce, right, end to end. It could take a year, right, to get the real story locked down. You want to produce, you post production and all of that. So if you think about it, we already started really focusing on productions, just over a year and a half after launching in the country for our first time. So I don't actually think we've taken that long to get into productions. But what I would say is our view from day one has just been to invest in local content and the local ecosystem. So when we first launched, we worked a lot with other content partners. Obviously, we have content partnerships with Media Prima and Astro as well, and we continue to work together with them closely. But I think local productions of our own is just our way to continue to invest in shows that we think can also go global, right? Because some of the shows we license, they're obviously made with maybe certain objectives in mind. I think for us, we really want to invest in shows that obviously highlight the best of Malaysia, will do really well in Malaysia, but also with the ambition of really taking these shows global. And we really wanted to take our time to really pick the right ideas and the right shows to meet their objective. In terms of how much we're investing, unfortunately, I can't really disclose specific numbers, but we do have 3 exclusive local shows that's coming out this year. We'll have a few next year as well. So I think if you look at the trajectory that we are going, in terms of how quickly we ramped up our local content offering to our users, you'll see it. I think it's pretty rapid, and this continues to be a big focus for us going forward.
All right, thank you so much, Dinesh, for answering that question. Hope this is a satisfying answer for the person that asked earlier. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap up this part.
We'll do one more.
We're going to do one more?
Question. I think there was someone who put a hand up.
They're really happy to do it, yeah? Okay, it's still coming from the same row. Ada soalan lagi, because we're just going to open for one more question.
Akhirnya,
akhirnya ya, dah pas-pas binted dah.
Apa jadi getaran? Soalan saya untuk David. Drama Rampas Cintaku, kalau tengok kepada premier tadi, ada banyak adegan panas, terutamanya untuk saat yang ke-24. Maksudnya ada, dan mungkin akan dipercakapkan benda ini di sosial media. Pertama, mungkin untuk David boleh memberi penjelasan apakah kritikan sosial sebenarnya yang ingin ditunjukkan dalam drama ini. Dan yang soalan kedua, tadi you claim yang drama ini adalah kisah nyata, walaupun diambil daripada sebuah adaptasi novel. Adakah cerita itu ditulis daripada pengalaman seorang sugar mami yang sebenar? Thank you.
Terima kasih. Kalau cerita sebenar itu saya tak pergi interview penulis skrip, penulis novel itulah. Tapi dari segi hati membaca ini novel, dia seperti dia ada pengalaman. Sebab benda ini dengan realiti sama. Kalau seorang itu menulis novel mengikut imajinasi, dia takkan boleh sampai benda-benda yang detail dia boleh disampaikan. So saya rasa kemungkinan I tak tanya dia, so I tak dapat pasti dia realiti tidak. Tapi ceritanya memang realiti yang di luar sana. Okay? Kedua ialah tentang apa cerita ni dia ada sesuatu message nak sampai lah. Mula-mula kita nampak seperti pengorbanan dia dengan suami, dengan adik-beradik sebab sesuatu pencapaian nak sampai di tempat korban. Tetapi dalam mesej ini ialah pengorbanan bukan kita buta untuk korban. Tetapi banyak di realiti sekarang ni dia korban sebab ni adik saya, sebab anak saya kena korbankan diri saya, tetapi cara yang korban itu bukan mengikut realiti yang betul. So ini ialah sesuatu mesej akan sampai kepada kita dalam drama ini.
Okey. Walaupun kita punya sesi kita dipanggil pada hari ini ialah orang kata fireside chat session, terasa panas juga walaupun ramai ikut tadi. Walau apapun, tuan-tuan dan puan, I think we can wrap this one up because we actually have a 1-hour preview to showcase to all of our amazing media members here today. So maybe we're going to wrap up with a few words before we proceed to the show, or nak cakap apa-apa ke sebelum kita tengok preview 1 jam, atau kita nak terus pergi ke preview?
Saya rasa jangan kita guna selalu luar sana netizen ke apa ke, dia tengok trailer dia dapat keputusan. Seperti dalam censor board, selalu saya punya chairman adalah Datuk Haji Husin lah. Dia kata kalau kita nak cut itu orang punya film, kita kena tengok whole film itu, baru kita buat keputusan sama apa mesej dia sebenarnya. Kalau kita just tengok the trailer, then dia buat keputusan, oh ini mestilah tak bagus lah, tidak mengajar masyarakat apa, tidak baiklah apa. Tapi saya mengalu-alukan bahawa kita seperti censor board punya chairman yang kata, tengok whole drama series habis, dan kita baru buat komen. Dan kita nampaklah mesej apa yang nak sampaikan. Daripada kita tengok sedikit di trailer dalam 1 minit, dan kita kata oh ini sudah start komen. Ini yang saya harapkan.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I would agree with David. I think our view is that we want to produce high quality shows that really push the boundaries of storytelling and as authentic as possible. Again, based on the data I mentioned earlier and the themes that we're seeing people want to watch. So this show really is about, at its core, it's really about the harsh realities of love. But obviously it's set against a setting that we think actually brings about and portrays certain things in the realities of life that are just less spoken about. But I think going back to the message, obviously not going to reveal the whole show, but the core message of this is really about the harsh realities of love. Like the sacrifice of Afieq's character for his family, the broken relationship that Fasha's character has with her family, and the struggles that they need to go through and the issues that they face in their everyday lives. So I think that's really the core message of the story, which I think is something that should be relatable to a lot of the audience that we are targeting. But obviously we wanna portray it in as authentic and real way as possible. So we hope that people will view it with an open mind and look at the real underlying message that we're trying to portray in the series.
Alright, jadi Dia punya keyword dia, nantikan dan tontonilah sendiri.
Exactly.
Alright, so tuan-tuan dan puan sekali lagi, thank you so much once again to Dinesh. Terima kasih diucapkan kepada David Teo. And we are wrapping up our interview session here today. Sekali lagi berikan tepukan kepada mereka berdua. Thank you so much. And I'd like to invite you to have a seat because we have an hour of a show to watch it for the preview. Jadi tuan-tuan dan puan, pada ketika ini juga kami ucapkan sekali lagi terima kasih bagi mereka yang telah tanya soalan seperti tadi, dan juga kami berharap soalan-soalan tersebut dapat dijawab dengan baik. Jika ada apa-apa pertanyaan lagi